Hey guys, Tyro here bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Faymonville Approach. Playing for you today is me. I usually don't feature my games on this channel too much because I don't want to seem like I'm bragging or anything like that, but I've been working pretty hard on my PPSh conscript builds. So I figured, I could give some more in-depth insight into these strategies. I commentated on them myself, so here we go. It is time of playing. I was about rank 120 as Soviets. All of my games is PPSh conscripts, the last like 15 or so. And matching up against Devils Brigade. He's featured on this channel many times before. I believe he's around rank 50 for this match. So in my loadout is Soviet Reserve Army. This one I used more typically against OKW. Gives you access to the ML20, which is quite good for countering the current infantry support gun spam kind of strategies. You can use that howitzer, even though it's nerfed heavily, you can use that howitzer to try and gun down the HQs, just try to win a war of attrition. The good thing about PPSh conscripts against OKW is that you can stay mobile with your conscripts, and so you're not such a sitting target with the infantry support gun play. So that is a good feature. Sometimes I pop this against Ostia as well. If I'm off to a bad start and they get out a fast 2-2-2, some partisan tank hunters can really surprise it and knock it out with their Shrek pretty effectively. Advanced Warfare, this is just a rock solid one. It's got the 85s for later game. I believe radio intercept isn't working at the moment, so and whatever. But it's got conscript repair, which synergizes really well with Soviet Union Tier 3, because it makes it a lot easier to repair your tanks if they get Fausted, which is really handy. And conscript support tactics, I barely ever use this one. I just put it in my loadout, so all three of my doctrines have PPSh conscripts in them, to be honest. Devils Brigade, on the other hand, is sporting mobile defense, Ostroupen, and lightning wall. Pretty standard loadout there. First couple of engagements going on. I get a good position on Devils here. He's not in cover, and I'm in heavy cover. He's making a play for my cutoff, but I get some conscripts in behind. I'm going with 4 conscripts here, heavy conscript opening. On a map like this, that's good. It's a good choice. There's lots of flanking routes on Faymonville Approach. On a map more heavily populated with garrisons, sometimes better to go 3 conscripts, 2 combat engineers, so you can get that extra flamethrower to help clear the garrisons. Also, if your opponent goes 2 EMGs on a map like, say, Samoski, you should probably pick up a mortar pretty as well.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
So, Devils Brigade, seeing that I've gone so heavily into conscripts, is going heavily into grenadiers in return. But the first few engagements have gone pretty well for me. I bleed a lot of manpower from that squad that was defending here in the south. Managed to force that machine gun to retreat. At this point I was worried that he's going to pop an MG in there, that's why I was backing off the point, but it's not the case, and now I'm getting some conscripts up on the flank, so he can't do this peekaboo tricky strats anymore. And I kind of catch this MG42 running towards the garrison at a pretty opportune time. Sensing that I couldn't get in range. Maybe if I got Ura, I might have been able to do it. I just back off. But I got this squad coming up around the flanks here. Just stalling for time in this garrison, but also doing pretty good damage. I mean, I think there's 5 windows out this side, so still pretty good to be camped in there. I come in for this flank, but Devils Brigade is on hand with another squad of grenadiers. That's the benefit of going for 4 grenadiers. So he's kind of able to shut this down. I'm very late to move this squad. If I moved them into this cover here, I probably would have done a lot better in this follow-up engagement here. But I do not. Devils Brigade is now making a play for my fuel. I've got some combat engineers up there trying to duke it out with them, but they're not going to be able to win this one. Still, my map control has been pretty good. I've got control of the south. Just aware of that, making a play for my cut-off immediately, trying to cut all that stuff off down there. At this stage, I decided I need a Maxim, knowing that he's gone so heavily into Grenadiers, and PPSh conscripts can bleed a lot trying to close the distance against LMG Grenadiers, so I need a suppression platform to try and deal with those Grenadiers at long range. So that's why I've gone for a Maxim here. Note that I try to avoid conscript upgrades, Molotovs and anti-tank grenades, because they just delay your T-70 too much, I feel. So Devils Brigade jumps us into here, and this is where a set of Molotovs would go pretty good right now. Try and get control of this fuel point, but oh well. Not much I can do about that there, unless I get a flamethrower squad up there. So at this point I decide, well, there's not really much I'm going to be able to do against that machine gun in the building. Especially because I've just gone for minesweepers to try and cut this wire right outside my base. So I decided to just go hard to the south, try and hold this cut off. Done my Maxim to this garrison, which is a pretty good spot for it to be. Devils quickly gets out of there with that squad. The squad's going to try at least neutralize this munitions point.
Half-track has arrived.
So I probably should have selected my doctrine slightly earlier, but it's alright. It doesn't matter too much. 3 command points is where PPSh conscripts are unlocked, so there's no real rush.
Enemy forces are securing
However,
our
if I had
territory.
locked in advanced warfare, in theory I could have been able to use the radio intercept. Devils Brigade making a nice play here, getting his pioneers up close to my Maxim. And I could keep my Maxim in there and try duke it out, but it'll probably die, and especially with a half-track around, I might be able to bring that in for reinforcements, so I just decided to jump out and try and move around this corner here. Which ended up working pretty well for me here, suppressing that squad of Grenadiers. And somehow, I think, I don't know what happened there, but his squads decided to retreat around this way, and I tried to finish them off there, but it was unsuccessful. So Devils Brigade's in a pretty commanding position in terms of map control right now, but poised to take quite a lot of it here in the south. Briefly think about sending my combat engineers up there, but I do realise that there's the MG up there. Decide against it. I don't even know how this squad got up here, but so this is where the Maxim really comes into its own. Devils Brigade, usually I'd lose this engagement. He's got an LMG on one of his squads, but the Maxim suppresses both of them, and that turns it into my favour easily. I wanted to finish capping that point, but rifle grenade was too strong. Start putting a demo charge onto this garrison. I know that Devils Brigade's munitions income has been pretty poor at this stage. I accidentally cancelled it there. And I saw that he's gone for 1 LMG and 1 flamethrower, so I figured there's probably... well, he's gone for the flamethrower, so he doesn't have a sweeper, of course. So, yeah. This is the reasoning behind getting that demo charge down. No sweeping at the moment, and he's been using this building quite a lot. This is just generally a pretty good spot for a demo charge. So he's making a big push out of his base. Trying to bring my Maxim up to try and suppress these two squads. Off grenade forces this retreat here. Maximum Forces Devils Brigade. Try and go another route. Jumps into the garrison. Boom, bye bye.
Infantry squad has been killed.
So he's already got a pack out, which is a pretty good idea. I have got my tech structure down. I'm about to bring out a T-70. Slightly late on my T-70, honestly. I could have got this going about a minute earlier, but oh well. This has also been a pretty lethal game so far. Lots of engagements, and that does mean that he could go mobile defense and quite easily counter my T-70. Knowing that, I'm bringing out a Zis gun, just in case he does go mobile defense. So taking the PPShs on my conscripts now, as my munitions income allows. See them going up. And I haven't done anything about this for a very long time, and that's exactly what my T-70 is going to deal with first, so I can break through the top. Going to try and get this wipe on retreat. He jumps out of the wrong side of the garrison there. PPSh conscripts charging forwards. This is where they are really into. Look how much damage they're doing. If you are unaware of the changes, the PPSh's conscript upgrade, and guards as well, I believe, they come in the Lean-Lease half-track, got a slight buff. The mid-range they're slightly better. DPS, I believe, is the story. So I've researched AT grenades here. I'm going and trying to knock out this half-track. This squad just bugging out here will not throw their grenade. I thought this was a kill for sure, but that half-track does manage to limp back on just such a tiny amount of health.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
What else do I have to say about PPSh conscripts? Generally, it's good to keep them together. Yeah, they are very strong, especially once you get Vet 3. Those Vet 3 bonuses that they gave to conscripts, I think that combined with the PPSh change is really what makes them viable. They actually can hold up in the late game. They actually do quite a lot of damage. Try to go for the kill here. Activate the crew repair. If you don't know the deal there, usually a T-70 would go down to 2 shots from a pack, but I believe if you activate the crew repair, it will take 3 shots. Or 2 shots in it. Yeah. 2 shots in a Faust will still kill it, but it's 2 regular pack shots will not. Very important to know. Expecting something to run down this road, that's why I just got my Zis sitting there. Conscripts are into close range with the PPShs. Something you've got to be unafraid of doing. Just get up close and personal with those PPShs, using the URA whenever you can. So I don't like that engagement. My conscripts are running into Panzer Greens at medium range and LMG Greens at long range, waiting for my Maxim to arrive for support. T-70 here got some repairs for those conscripts, making good use of that conscript repair kit. Maxim forces back the P-Greens. Now switches targets. Conscripts come around from this flank and charging straight down the middle. So this is a stolen MG42, and at this point I decided I'm just going to leave this camped on my cutoff because it's going to be very hard for him to dislodge from here. And I want to keep hold of that those resources in the south. And keep using my Maxim as my mobile suppression platform, because this thing sets up a lot quicker. Sets up and packs up a lot quicker. Just a lot more useful in bringing it to engagements. You're not going to get caught out of position as easily.
Enemy forces are securing our territory. A squad of pioneers has arrived.
So at this point I'm starting to float a bit of manpower. I've got a bit of fuel in the bank as well, but I mean that's alright. I want to try tick up so I can bring out the T-3485s for the late game. But it's alright to have a little bit of float just in case I have to make another T-70.
Infantry can march double time.
Devils Brigade has selected a lightning wall, but hasn't gone for the G43s. I don't know if I've played against G43 Grens versus PPSh conscripts yet. No game particularly stands out, especially against a good player. Would be interesting to see that matchup though. So down goes my tech structure. This guy can't quite find a line on that half track. I was worried he's just gonna mass nade me in there, and I didn't have any support for that Maxim, so I just decided to get out. At this stage I also decided to go for a mortar. As I was saying, it's floating quite a lot, and I know that he's rebuilt this MG. He's going for a half track, so it means it's probably going to be a bit more stationary. And also just can apply a bit of pressure to his packs. I figure, having not seen a medium tank yet, he's probably just going to be going straight for a Tiger. So I'm just sending my T-70 to the flanks, trying to shut down these squads doing the capping. Trying to avoid the centre. I know that he's got packs, and I know that I'll die very easily to them with the T-70. However, I don't think he's got many mines, because he's got a few weapon upgrades, so that's why I'm not too diligent. I do have one sweeper squad, but that's nothing too drastic. Putting a mine right here on this door just in case he jumps into this building, comes out, tries to get flanks going on through here. PPSh cons making mincemeat out of those. That squad wasn't at full health, but still doing quite a lot of damage. This Panzer Grenadiers. Once again, somehow the squad comes around the side. I don't know what's going on here. Some real weird stuff happening with the retreat paths this match.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Pop a bit of smoke to buy these conscripts some time. So once again, you always want to URA in these kind of situations. It doesn't cost much munitions, and getting up close is just so important with the PPSHs. This is a pretty close match, and I end up winning it, even though I was on, what, 4 men? I mean, I do have high levels of veterancy, but you can see the power right there of the PPSH conscripts. They're very, very strong. But you just have to get real close with them. You can't just, like, waltz in like you can with shock troops. You'll take too much damage on approach. Got to make use of that URA. Don't have the body armor like the conscripts do. I mean the shock troops do. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to this engagement up here, and my conscripts were actually focusing on the squad very far away, so I lost that badly. Trying to avoid knocking this Y down with my T70, just trying to make this fuel a lot harder to harass. And just keeping this T70 mobile, trying to avoid wherever his packs are, making it really difficult for him in that respect. See, this is a prime spot for a telemine, but I decided to risk it, try to go for the kill here. So I got my first T-34-85 onto the field. Devils Brigade's got a lot of fuel in the bank, but still 1.5 command points away from his Tiger. PPSh conscript Ura into close range, force that retreat so quickly. And I'm bringing my Maxim along with this push. I want to try hold on to the south and lock down the middle. Leave my T-70 here in the north. Devils Brigade rotating his anti-tank guns to the north now. It's the last location of my T-70. Get a couple of choice hits there on the Peregrines. Trying to get out of there. Very risky here standing on this mine with my T-70. A5 rolling straight down the centre. Got to be careful though with these packs around. Can use this shock blocker here to my advantage. Sensing a weakness in the packs here, I'm bringing in my T-70 from the side. Run over that telemine he had there, which is disastrous. Just trying to clear these packs. Bringing in, just I'm desperate here, bringing in the Sternvik strafe, which is really rather rubbish, as you can see. It's not even worth the munitions. Have tech Molotovs now though. After getting out my first tank, I felt on my first T-34-85, so it's time to get Molotovs. They come in handy there, clearing the MG42. So losing that 85 was a big blow. Now when the Tiger hits, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. I am floating a bit of manpower right now, so I decided it's time to get another Zis gun after losing that 85. So that will be coming in soon. I believe I get another Zis gun. Cleared this pack, but two Peregrines too strong. My Maxim was slightly too late to that engagement. If I had got that Maxim there a little bit earlier, I might have been able to steal that. As it is right now, I decided I'm just going to kill that, bring my Zis gun up, try and knock it out. Having the Maxim brought it up, so these squads are getting suppressed now. They can't pick up team weapons while they're suppressed, and I also throw a Molotov on it for good measure. I was a bit of fuel cache at some point. Oh, as I was saying, I was trading quite effectively. I don't think I've lost a single squad. Let's do speed. No, I haven't lost any squads. So that's the main reason why I'm able to afford that fuel cache. Once again, activating the crew repair. But it doesn't really matter. Second shot hits the tree line there. Actually trying to kill this MG42. Already got two machine guns, don't want a third. Also don't want that falling back into his hands. And there's my first wipe. Lose. Coming from the side with these conscripts. Get an AT grenade off here. Force this retreat. But that's the Tiger. Still, my VP control has been very sound up until this point. I've got a rather large lead. Just had quite good map control overall. Devils Brigade does have still quite a lot of fuel in the bank. So even if he loses this target, he will be able to build another one. Shooting, attacking ground. Oh no, mine ends up wiping his green squad there. He's trying to attack ground, expecting a miner in there. Doesn't hit it, and Grenadiers end up getting wiped. Once again, Molotov's coming in handy now. Actually throw that one on the door, as you can see. And get the wipe. That's a trick you can do with the Molotovs. If you know your opponent's probably going to get out, just throw it on the door. There's actually only one door out of this building, as you can see. Just out of the front door. So I know he's got to jump out of that building. Out of that side of the building. This stage, I know that he's probably going to have 2 packs and a Tiger, and that's kind of too much for my T-34-85s to deal with. So I decided to just, I know that I'm way ahead on squads, to just try and wound the Tiger, continuously force it back for repairs, and just try to keep it out of commission while I try and work the VPs. Try to drain them out there. So yeah, seconds is on the way now, it's a bit late.
Yes, comrade. We have the point. Enemy fire.
Finally managed to clear out that MG42. Double PPSh conscripts, too good for those Panzer Grenadiers. Also too good for those Panzer Grenadiers. That's the thing, once you get these Vet 3 conscripts with the PPSHs, they're incredibly durable. So this is my plan really, just get it wounded, get it damaged engine, and just try to work the VPs. Send my mortar to the north. Try and work on this. The Devils Brigade only has, he's had so many wipes, he only got 1 squad of Pioneers to repair this tank with. They are Vet 3 though, so they got the increased repair speed. But still, it's a big tank for only 1 squad. He's monitoring this engagement. Trying to lead the squad up here in his retreat path, so hopefully I can get it as he retreats. So I got my Zis in a good position here. But I prematurely throw those AT grenades. That one bugged out though, it ended up throwing about half a minute after I tried. Didn't get the wipe there though. It's too busy microing this. I think if I brought those conscripts down a bit closer to the retreat path, I probably would have. So now I've got 2 T-34-85s, but I mean that's no guarantee of success against what I expect to be 2 packs, even though he's only got 1 because I destroyed the other one. And a Tiger. T-34-85s do have quite a lot of trouble penetrating the frontal armor of a Tiger. And this isn't guard motor, so I don't have marked vehicles, so I still have to be very, very careful. I was actually spamming those tripwire flares there in the north. It's something I need to add into my game, so that's what I was attempting there. Oh, T-70's in a lot of trouble. Down it goes. Getting stuck on that victory point flag there. But the VPs drain out, and that is the game. So yeah, I hope this gave you some insights into PPSh concepts. To recap, try and avoid taking Molotovs and AT grenades early on. Try and get that T70 out as fast as you can. Try and do as much damage with that as you can. Bring a Maxim along. If you're fighting LMG Grenadiers, you need that Maxim. You're going to take too much bleed on approach, as LMGs are going to cut you down. On urban maps, try get at least one flamethrower combat engineer squad. Try and help you clear the garrisons, and maybe even a mortar as well. And yeah, against OKW, perhaps consider, especially against the current infantry sport gun meta, perhaps consider using the other doctrine, which has the ML20 in it. I have done it on this map once before, except it ended up taking me so long to burn down these houses. He went scavenge. I tried to burn these down with the flamethrowers, but they just wouldn't die. So I recommend getting some Molotovs on these to help your flamethrower squads if you want to try burn down buildings, because as is right now, it takes a very long time for handheld flamethrowers to burn down buildings. It took like, it felt like 3 minutes just burn down one house. It was really bad. Anyway guys, I'll wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.